Okay, hello student, in lecture 6 we are going with mathematical expression in C++, which can be called as the data type 2, how to use various data types. Most of the time here I will use integer data types for the basic calculation. Then we also use double data type to understand the floating points variation. Again, I'm going with the basic, include IO stream using name space std. Now almost people are familiar with these two lines. Remember that without these two lines, we can't code in C++. Integer main, and then again, and the basic practice keep writing return zero so you can able to do. Now, let's see. I ask a simple question is many of students have learned in their elementary classes in algebra, let A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 7. So find Q, which is equal to A plus B. So understanding the basic mathematical expressions, basic arithmetical expressions of addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Firstly, we'll go with these four basic operators called arithmetic operators using this. So here, let's record. So let's A is equal to 5. It's an assumption. So the integer A is equal to 5, then place a comma, and B is equal to 7. So B is equal to 7, then a comma and a Q. We remember in variables, you can use the capitals. When we say all the time we are using lowercase letters in C++ programming, it's regarding their codes, their functions, fundamentals we are writing. But if you are using your variables in your variables, you can use the capital letters. You can merge them with the lower letters in the titles. So basically, as you can remember the variables. So their naming convention of variables as well as normally used in Java. So you understand the naming convention as well. For the practical programmer or a real software engineer, it's necessary able to read readable program lines. Those he can read and recall again when we have to update a program. So if just we are going with the basics, so let A is equal to 5, A is equal to 5, B is equal to 7, B is equal to 7. So Q is equal to nothing, we don't know. So nothing, we don't know. Now on the calculation, so Q is equal to A plus B. Very simple. There's no problem like this. If you write A plus B, or supposedly if you give a space, there's no problem like that too. Again and again, I'm telling this thing repeatedly. In lecture 5, we completed the three-fold language. So there is no problem with the spaces, indentation. Many people are doing Pythons. In Python, there is an indentation problem. And if the spaces, there are different meanings with that. But here in C++, we don't have any type of problem with the indentation or spaces. A plus B. So let's put out the result. We see out slash n. The regular practice should have to make when you start a line, make it a slash n. So we start with a new line at the value of A, value of A. I just putting a full column. There is nothing special regarding this full column, basic or writing habit. So we can understand the variable is coming after these full columns is A. Then again, see out value of B is B. And so the calculation as they ask us to find A plus B. So here we are going to be the Q, which is Q is equal to A plus B. So Q A plus B, the resultant will be the addition of A plus B. So A plus B is equal to again A plus B. Make a habit here that whenever you're making a mathematical expression, enclose it within parentheses. When you go with a complicated calculations of mathematical expression, that time it will be very helpful. Whenever you are writing a mathematical expression in C++, specifically when you're writing in bloodshed, so you should have to write down the parentheses. So all the time you have all the safe cruising and your data, you don't have any type of problem when you're working with a complicated mathematical expression. So again, we run it 0, 0 warning. The value of A is equal to 5. Value of B is 7. Very simple. A very straightforward program for the addition. The same thing is for subtraction. If we go with the subtraction, so again, these two lines and it is division, it is subtraction. So again, I save and we press F10. So we get the answer of subtraction, A plus B. Oh no, A minus B. Definitely we have A minus B. So it's larger than, so let us compile first. The answer should have to be negative. F7. So yes, the answer is -2. The answer is -2. If you want to decimals, so we use double instead of that, low to double, so you will get the answer in decimals. Similarly, if you want to go with the multiplication, so star sign normally used, the asterisk sign is used for the multiplication. We all know that thing. So addition, subtraction, multiplication. I want you basically go through with that thing in just one class. Okay, sir? You know that 5, 7, the 35. And then we go with the division. So in division, I'm changing a value a bit. I put it here 50. We know we are using an integer format, so definitely our answer will not be in decimal. Our answer will not be in decimal. 7, 7, the 49. Now one is remaining, it give you the whole answer. There is a very interesting operator. That operator is called modulo division. That operator is known as modulo division. Remember that thing. When you put a percentage here, that sign is called modulo division. That percentage sign is in C language known as modulo divisor. Or reminder. We know that division is a complicated operation. It's got two answers. One is the answer, how many times that is going on, and second is the reminder. So again, save F9. So we can understand the basic expressions. So you got the one. And 7, 7, the 49, and one is remaining. Last time we got the answer. When we go to the division is 7, 7, 7, the 49. And the answer was 7, and now 7, 7, the 49, and one is remaining, so 1 is. I will complete it, cover it that in an operators lecture. We'll go the operators lecture, that all the addition, subtraction, and division point by point. But here, when you're going with the basic fundamental, so I want that you should know all the basic operators, arithmetics we are using in computer. Many those are going with the programming are familiar with these basic symbols. Although I will write it down in my comment section. That's basic operators we are using here for any type of division instruction. Similarly, addition and subtraction are same. Addition and subs are same. Why? For the asterisk sign is used for multiplication. In operator type, when we are going with operators. So at that condition, then we will discuss in detail with this operator, the binary operators. And then you got a complicated operator, which says division. Division is this simple slash. The simple slash is used for division. It is used for division. And this is simple percentage sign. Normally, you are using percentage sign. This percentage sign we use here for reminder. Just for the basic, we should cover this thing. Then as we grow further, we can understand the basic parameters. So now we want to go with a little complicated operations. We want a little complicated operation. So I just want to copy paste this code, or I'm going to open a new file for you people. So we understand if we want a little complicated operation. Let's see. If you are asked that x is equal to or a is equal to again 10, while b is equal to say for 15, and c is equal to 12, and find q. But that q is a little different. If q says you have to find 5a plus bc, 5a plus bc. We are doing this mathematical expression, algebraic expression. Normally, so how we can code the thing inside of C++ program. Let's see, IOStream using namespace std, namespace std. With using namespace std, we are going integer main, this regular routine programming. I want to do everything in front of you, so you are able to practice this thing like I'm doing in front of you. So again, let a, so a is equal to 10, comma b, so b is equal to 15, comma c, so c is equal to 12, and again we have to find q. So again you have to find the q here. We're not lengthening now this thing, the value of a, value of b, and value of c. We understood that thing, how we output, how we produce it on the screen. Now we want to know how can you able to solve this mathematical expression. Now we have to solve this mathematical expression. We want to solve this mathematical expression. I'm putting here for your better understanding that the mathematical expression is q is equal to 5a plus bc. Simply, I want to code it as Q is equal to 5A plus BC and C out. I want to see out the resultant as a C out. The result is C out as Q. Okay, simple as. So we are going to the program of math 2. Sorry, the mathematical expression math 2. So math 2 we are here. Now we have to compile it with a compilation. Oh, what happened here? It is 5A plus BC. But our compiler is saying that invalid suffix, invalid compiler, invalid suffix A on integer constant is not getting A on integer constant, invalid suffix A, because there, and similarly you got the same thing. BC was not declared in this scope because there is no variable BC. Because we human assumes things. When you're doing mathematics, so many things you people are assuming. As every single student, a simple students of level grade 3 or grade 4 know that thing. If I ask from you that what is the symbol between 5 and A, we say there is a multiplication symbol between 5 and A. But we understood that thing. Yes, 5 and A, there is a mathematical symbol. But computer not able to assume that thing. It's just reading it 5A and 5A is not there. It's reading BC and BC is not there. So here we made a little change. We have to write down here a symbol of multiplication. And similarly, in the BC, a symbol of multiplication too. The computer can understand now what I'm asking from it is 5 multiplied by A, then plus B multiplied by C. Now, this only in this scenario, it will able to execute your program. Now with F9. So again, you got now 0 error, 0 warning, and you can go with the output. So what is the output? We are not worrying about now the output. We want to learn the basic mathematical expression. How can we write different mathematical expression? Because from simple algebra to highest level of limits and integration or disintegration questions or the derivation you can do in C++. But you know the basic writing style of mathematics. It is just like you are doing in MS Word, LaTeX, or equation writing. But here in the programming, you have to explain every single step to the computer. When we say something is automatic in computer world, it actually means some programmer have done a lot of work behind that screen. So you are doing here, it's the grade A level programmers. In C++, the very basic level programmers. Being very basic level programmers, you have to do a lot of hard work. But the application those we develop are the best application. Definitely all this Google, if you search it out in Google and go and check it out, what Google is using, you find out with the Python or plus the basic language they're using is C++. Similarly, if you want to go on any artificial intelligence side, they're using C++. So that for the behind the codes, a programmer work a lot that provide you a complete automation. So here we have to work a lot for complete automation. So this is the basic understanding you want to discuss in this lecture before going so deep, that you have to write down every simple thing that normally human assume. Let's we calculate the separate one. That equation I will not able to write in the line democratic out. This is basically an editor that only work in line. Let's see. If we have this type of expression, I write expression for you. If somebody asks you to solve this one, BC plus 5B upon ABC. If our question is BC plus 5B upon ABC. So let me, I quote it here for you people first. That if we are doing that thing here in C language, so it's 2, definitely I know it's multiplied by C. Then plus 5 is also multiplied by B. Then there's a whole bar, means division sign. And this all they are A multiplied by B multiplied by C. If we write this code directly in the C language, that Q is equal to, so it will not provide you any type of errors, but it will give you a wrong answer. Remember, it will give you a wrong answer. Check it out. I'm just copying and pasting this code inside of my editor. Okay, instead of that, if I have to solve that equation, in case of that equation, I pass this code. If we have to find this thing, the question is not this one now. I'm abolishing this question, vanishing from here. This is the question. So if you go with save and compile approach, there will be no errors. But definitely the results are not correct. Check it out from your calculator. The result will not be correct. But what is happening? We know there is a thing is called DEMAS. According to DEMAS rule, what computer did? computer actually divided B with A first. This expression firstly calculated, because nothing, there is no parenthesis which is stopping it from it. So when they are using this B divided by A, then the resultant 5, the result, then B, then multiply by C, that whole get multiplicated, then 2 multiply by C, and then the addition will be completed. We know with the Demas rule, remember from your grade 5, that Demas rule, divide, multiply, add, and subtract. So with the Demas, the firstly is go with B divided by A, which I don't want. We want that should have to be firstly calculate this whole equation. The first pair of equation, it should be calculated from the first pair of equation. This 2 multiplied by C, then 5 multiplied by B, then A multiplied by B multiplied by C. These two sections, numerator and denominator, first calculated. After that, it go with the division approach. But nothing is stopping it to go directly with B divided by A. A is the compiler in the basic, just going with the Demas rules. So here, what we have to do, you must have to make an habit. As in the first lecture, I told you, whenever you're writing a mathematical expressions, you should have to use parentheses. We must have used parentheses here. And parentheses there as well. Is it correct now? No, it's not correct as well. Compile it. There is no errors. I previously said you there is no problem of errors now. We are good enough in coding. But these are runtime errors, the logical errors. If you want to make addition, but you put in the code multiplication, computer will result you in multiplication, not in addition. So simply because now according to Demas rule, this thing will be first calculated. Means first it will calculate 5 multiplied by B, and there he will calculate A multiplied by B multiplied by C. Then the resultant will be calculated. Then it will be added to 2 multiplied by C. Got that point again? So now what we have to do? We have to separate these two. So we don't have the braces and blocks. Instead of that, we are keep repeating the parentheses. It's a little complicated, but will be helpful for you in mathematics, physics, and chemistry, all type of mathematical expressions. Now see, now it's telling now the parenthesis directly. This parenthesis is telling now the computer compiler that first we have to resolve this parenthesis. So this parenthesis will resolve. In between means first here we resolve 2 multiplied by C, then it will resolve 5 multiplied by B, then it will aggregate both of them. Then here you resolve A multiplied by B multiplied by C, and then the whole equation calculated. So this is the basic. That's why I want this lecture in detail, in depth. The answers automatically change. And the answer is 0 because maybe in the division, the value becomes 0 point something. That's why it's come 0. So instead of that, put a variable of with double. So the decimal points can be calculated. Now check it out. The answer is 0.055. So what is the answer? It's not a problem. In this stage, I want to teach you how can we write various mathematical expressions in a single line to C++ to solve. So if you're able to keep completing this, keep practicing this thing. So in our lecture number 7, we will go with various expressions. Those are used in mathematics or various numericals normally used in physics in O levels 1, O levels 2, and even in A levels or most complicated engineering operations. So in that next lecture, we will resolve various equations of motion. We also resolve the various equation of Coulomb's law, or we can go with the law of gravitation, any type of complicated expression that normally we use in our scientific notations or normally use in our numericals. So we will try to resolve those, that how we are able to solve that thing. So here for time being, how can we write Demas inside of mathematical expression with C++? So that's the most important lecture from the last all 5 lectures. So keep practicing this, keep complicatedly changing the scenarios, calculate your answers on the calculators, or after that, match out your answers are correct or not. And the calculators are defaultly basically use the Demas rule. So how you also calculate manually. First calculate manually on a paper the result of that expression, then check it out. It's not only true that if computer is giving you 0 error, 0 warning. So you are thinking now computer is giving 0 error, 0 warning. So our whole program is correct. More time you must have to check logically. The logical calculation should be checked by the programmers. So work it good. Any type of question you can post inside of the comments.